Hey y'all, I'm Morgan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just finished up my first semester as a DPT student at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. When I first was applying for schools, I went on the internet like many and on YouTube to try and find just tips and tricks and advice on how to apply, what it would be like to be a DPT student, and just all the different things that go along with becoming a grad school student. And I really couldn't find a whole lot that had to do with PT school. I found a lot of med school videos and just a lot of videos that had a generalized idea of grad school, but I couldn't find a whole lot that were detailed enough and specific about just DPT. And so I wanted to create a page where people come and ask questions and just follow me along in my day-to-day life as a DPT student. So I hope that you guys like my videos and that you'll come back and check some more out. So my first video today, we're going to talk about what I expected coming into PT school versus what the reality of what PT school has been really like. I am done with my first semester and we had a month and a half off for break and we're about to jump back into the second semester. So I thought this was the perfect time to tell you guys all about what it was like in my first semester as a DPT student. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. So the first thing I thought about PT school is that I'd be on campus all day.
Every single day.
I was anticipating being on campus for about 7 hours each day, Monday through Friday. And unfortunately with COVID, that just didn't happen this semester. We had to do a hyperflex schedule, which just consisted of doing some of our courses online and then some of our courses in person. We were lucky enough to be able to do 2 of our labs in person. So we did patient care skills and then our anatomy cadaver lab in the classroom. And then all of our lectures were just online. So it worked out, but it definitely wasn't what we were anticipating it was going to be like for this first semester of PT school. I spent a lot of time studying in coffee shops and inside my apartment rather than being on campus. And I'm hoping that things will look a little bit different for this next semester here and we will be more in person, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with COVID. So the second thing that I thought coming into PT school is that all of my courses were going to be very hands-on. This wasn't really the case this past semester, not only just because we weren't all in person for these things, but I think that the first semester and even the second semester is a lot of getting that foundation down and to understand the skills that you'll want at one point go use inside a clinic. So you need to learn about it and then you can take the skills that you've learned and go use those. The most hands-on classes that I had were the labs that we did this past semester. The patient care skills class that I mentioned earlier, we did a lot of work with wheelchairs and different walkers and canes. And really it was all about learning skills that we'll take into the clinic someday and how to help your patients work with the adaptive equipment that they're going to be using, as well as helping them transfer from a bed to their chair and vice versa. So the third thing that I expected coming into a program like this is that I wasn't going to have any time to do things for me. I was afraid that my self-care was going to go out the window and that I wouldn't be able to hang out with my friends or keep up the relationships that I have already made. Luckily, this wasn't the case. Once you find the balance of PT school, you can still keep up with all the things that you love doing, but it does take a few weeks to get that routine down and figure out what works for you. Balance just has everything to do with finding what works best in your life. So for me, I was able to have a date night once a week and then still see friends on the weekends. It just required me breaking up my time throughout the week better and prioritizing things. So I couldn't say I was going to do something and then not do it. It's important to stick to what you say you're going to do throughout the week so that you can still have free time to go to the gym and see your friends and have time for you. So really, it's all about balance, and it is possible to still have a life in PT school, but it is important to make it your number one priority because you only have PT school for 3 years. You're dedicating those 3 years to this program, which is really what you're going to be treating as your job for the next 3 years. And just keep reminding yourself it's not forever and you're going to get through it, but it's worth it in the end. So the fourth thing that I thought coming into PT school is that I was going to find lifetime friendships. Now, unfortunately, with COVID going on, it has been really hard to get to know people. We aren't even all together as a class right now. So this past semester, we have we have 60 people that are a part of our class in the program, but because of social distancing, we had to break those into a group A and a group B. So there were 30 people in group A and 30 people in group B. And then within those groups, we were broken down into pods of 6 people. And we were encouraged to hang out with just those 6 people in the pod just to avoid transfer of COVID. It's unfortunate, but I did get to know some really great people in that pod, and makes me even more excited to get to know all of the other people that are in my program. So I'm hoping in the next few years here, we'll all be able to join it together again. And I can say that the people that I have gotten to know are some of the greatest, most personable people you will ever meet. So it's great to be able to meet people that are interested in the same things as you, and you just click so well with them. So the fifth and final thing that I thought coming into PT school is that I would constantly have my head stuck in a textbook. And luckily this wasn't the case. I originally, when the semester started, reached out to my mentor and asked her what books she thought I really needed to buy. So I really only ended up buying 2 books. One was my Pathophys book and one was my anatomy textbook. And really throughout the semester, I only opened those a couple times for a project and then just some additional information. So instead, I just do better when I'm learning things hands-on or when I'm watching something visual. I'm a very visual learner. So while textbooks don't work for me, they may work for others, but I prefer to do things hands-on or by watching videos. So one of my favorite videos to watch was Sam Webster. He does a really good job of explaining anatomy. He has a lot of different anatomical diagrams that he uses. They're actual 3D versions of the anatomy, things you see in anatomy lab. And that was very helpful, as well as Dr. Preddy. He just breaks things down really well as far as anatomy goes and gives you tools to remember a lot of those anatomical terms, because there's a lot to learn with anatomy. And if you don't find learning tools or memorization tools, then it's just not gonna all stick. So those were 2 people on YouTube that I found very helpful for my anatomy course. Also, my roommate and I liked to come home after a lab, an anatomy cadaver lab, and watch other people dissect bodies. So what you'll learn inside a cadaver lab is that no body is going to be exactly the same as another. They're all unique. So you may find a nerve in one spot in one body, but then it's not there in the other and it's in a different location. That's just how it goes with bodies, and it makes things a little difficult. But it's easier to have an idea of where those might be inside a body if you're watching several different kinds of dissections. So YouTube was a great tool when trying to learn all of those different anatomical differentiations. All right, guys, so that's all I have for today. If you guys liked today's video, please go down and like and subscribe below. If you have any other ideas for what you want to hear about when it comes to PT or being a PT student, you can go ahead and add those down to the comments below. I'm up for making a video about just about anything. So thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you guys again back here real soon. See ya.